Hey guys, today we're going to talk about the AWS compute and networking services. This is the Vikram Ravela, and we'll be talking more about the what are the compute and the network services, and this is more to do with the how you're going to store and how you're going to use your databases and how you're going to use your application services in a complete as a complete solution that you that these days business are looking for, or even you want something. And this is something that has to deal with the computing capacity of your services and the querying, processing, and how much time it's going to take for each of its services, and what kind of storages that it's going to use in a wide variety of applications. And we'll discuss a few of them in a high level description of a core computing and networking services. We will start off with the Elastic Compute Cloud EC2. This is the favorite of every all the AWS services. So most people uses it, and this is the top most used, I guess. And EC2 is, as the name goes, Compute Cloud. This is a web service that provides a resizable compute capacity in cloud. Basically, you're asking for a computer with the infinite number of resources in it, like for example infinite memory, infinite storage capacity, infinite of everything that a computer can do. So basically you are configuring your own PC to a topmost spec computer or a server. Okay, this is at the organization level, and obviously you need to pay for it, so make sure you don't overuse it. And it allows the organizations to obtain and configure a virtual servers in Amazon's data centers, and it uses all the resources to build and host software systems. Okay, and these are pre-configured with a variety of operating systems and different configuration levels, like a memory, CPU, or even the storage and so on. So the variety of things that you can think of, and there are optimal ways to use it as well. With the based on your requirements, you can select the required EC2 instance that is the most suits your requirements. And as we say, there's a true virtual computing environment. This is the one. This is virtual, completely virtual. Even in EC2, even in AWS, EC2 is completely virtual, and this is a true example of a virtual computing environment. And this allows all the customers to launch computer resources with a variety of operating systems and load them with all the custom applications and manage network access permissions while maintaining complete control to the customer. So this is very important. So remember this. And we'll talk about the AWS Lambda. So Lambda is a kind of script that a web developer writes behind the scenes for you. He writes in such a way that it is fine-grained to pricing structure. Based on your requirements, it's going to spin up the instances based on certain workloads, for example. So it's going to do all the checks, what it needs to do, and provide those resources to your instances. And AWS compute fleet of EC2 instances across the multiple availability zones in a region, which provides the high availability, security, performance, and scalability of the AWS infrastructure. Okay, and now autoscaling. This is my favorite. The autoscaling is something that allows the resources like EC2 instances to scale up and down automatically based on the workload that you're having at the moment. If there's a high workload, it's going to scale up. If the workload is less, it's going to scale down. So you need to configure all those things. So it's very handy, and this way you keep your prices down. And it's highly available, and it's in a matter of seconds it's going to spin up an extra resources. And these are a number of EC2 instance. I think it has a limit of 90 EC2 instance at the moment, but yeah, it could change, but don't take my word on it. And not only can be used to help maintain the application availability and ensures that the desired number of EC2 instances are running, but it allows resources to scale in and out to match the demand of the workload. Instead of provisioning for a peak load, organization can optimize cost and use only the capacity that is actually needed. This is auto-scaling. Elastic Cloud Balancing. So Elastic Cloud Balancing automatically distributes the incoming traffic across multiple EC2s. Basically there will be multiple EC2 instances running on a virtual private network, and it calculates all the incoming traffic, and it evens out between the different EC2 instances in the cloud. It enables organizations to achieve greater level of fault tolerance in their applications. The EC2 instances will, not one will take all the load. It's going to spread, it help it to spread around the loads between the each EC2 instance, and by that way you are actually making sure that it is fault tolerant, great level of fault tolerance, and it seamlessly provides the required amount of load balancing capacity. AWS Elastic Beanstalk. This is the fastest way to get a web application running up and running in AWS. All you need to do is to write the program that you need and upload it to AWS. And Beanstalk will take care of all the resources provisionings. Load balancing, auto scaling, and monitoring are handled by AWS. And it supports different languages, like most popular ones are like PHP, Java, Python, Ruby, .NET, Node.js, .NET, and Go. And it gives the customer the full control at any time and at any point. We'll talk about Amazon Virtual Private Cloud, so VPC in this case. Amazon Virtual Private Cloud is a logically isolated section in a AWS cloud. So basically, assume that there's a big box, and the very big box is having a small section. It's partitioned in a 3D way with the small boxes inside it, and each box, for example, could be a VPC, and a VPC in that box, small section of the box, you have every right to have your own set of resources. You can keep anything in it. Basically, you can spin up a EC2 instance, or you can have an S3 in it, or even different kinds of resources. You can have anything. So that is your section of it. The AWS gives you the full control of it to you, and you can have a complete control, like IP addresses and subnets, route tables, and network gateways, and etc. So any hardware or software VPN connections are supported. So to get this working, there's another concept of AWS Direct Connects, which is a dedicated circuits to it, and which gives you more faster access and better experience. We'll talk about it in next section. So AWS Direct Connect is the dedicated network connection for data centers to AWS. So basically, this is something that gives you the direct connection between these two, and not just for these two, but also for the offices and co-location environments. It reduces the network cost and increases the bandwidth throughput. It's a consistent network experience over internet-based VPN connection. So this is something very handy, and it's very reliable, and this is something that AWS recommends to use it. And there's something called as Amazon Route 53. They say they just like GoDaddy, just GoDaddy. That's all. And it's highly available. It's not GoDaddy, but it's a differently completely owned by AWS, and they have their own technology on it. And AWS Route 53 is something that's a highly available and scalable domain name system. So you can register all your domain names in it, and it will convert them into the IP addresses, and you can reach, the end user can reach quickly using that. So it's a reliable and cost-effective way to route your users to web addresses. So it can do all the domain registrations for you, and you can purchase and manage domains directly from AWS. Thanks for listening, guys, and see you in the next session.